So we're going to be installing luxury vinyl plank today on this tile floor. We're going to go right over top of the existing tile floor. I'm going to be using this, this is a plank, one of the planks from the box. It's luxury vinyl plank. It's very easy to work with, kind of flimsy, rubbery feeling. The pieces click together, snap together. It's really easy to cut, I think. You're gonna need I use my, well, there's multiple ways to cut it, but you don't even need a saw. You can just score and snap it off. It just depends on what kind of cut you're doing, whether that's the preferred way to do it for that particular cut. I use my miter saw also to cut these. Sometimes I think that's easier. It just depends on what kind of cut you're making. This floor is nice and level because it's already tiled, so we're just going to go right over top of it. This is, I got this from Menards. They come in boxes of 10 planks each. I believe this is cool gray is the color, and I want to say, I have to look and see what the brand, I can't remember the brand. I'll have to go grab the box. It's in the other room. You want to try to keep your work area as clean as possible because, you know, well, especially in a small area like this, because you don't have a lot of room to move around. You don't want things to be in your way. I already swept and wipe down the tile, mop the floor. I did that already because I think it's a good idea to just have a clean floor to start with. You know, I don't know, if you have something on your floor, you don't want it trapped under your floating floor forever. I mean, I don't know. I just like to start out with a clean floor, so I did wipe it all down. And yeah, so we're gonna get going. I'll get that box so you can see what the brand is. This is Home Expressions Luxury Vinyl Plank. And it's says it's click and press, glueless installation. It's really easy to install this, guys. There are instructions on the back of the box, but yeah, they say that you can score and snap it with a utility knife, like a carpet knife or something. It tells you what you need on the back of the box, you know, what's required tools, a hammer, a tape measure, like maybe like a T-square, or, you know, straight edge, a carpet knife. Yeah, that's all you need in the box. So you don't have to have a saw to install this, but I find that for me, there's a few kinds of cuts that are just easier if I have a saw available. I already have every saw. I have every saw you can think of anyway, so, but if you don't have a saw, you can get by with, there are ways to do this without using power tools if you don't have them. Anyway, this is it. This is what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna redirect the camera down to the floor so you can see what I'm doing. And actually I did already start to remove some of they used pieces of this tile as baseboards against the wall, at the base of the wall. And in order to install this, I mean, I hate those. It's ugly. We need to get rid of it. So first thing I'm doing is ripping those tiles off the wall. And I have a few more to do, so I'll show you, like behind the toilet, and then along this wall where the toilet paper dispenser is. I still have to pull those off. So I'll show you how I'm doing that. It's not hard, and yeah, we're damaging the wall, but it's okay because we're gonna go right back over that after we install our planks, and that's all done. Then we're gonna come along all of the areas where the damage is and put new baseboards down, wood baseboards, and it will cover the unfinished edge of this where our cuts are, and it'll look really nice. And it's gonna cover up all of the area where we damaged the wall by removing the tile that was glued to it. So in this bathroom, guys, I have this ugly tile. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. The grout is really dirty. I don't know, maybe it was gray at one time, but it's very dirty. It's very ugly. This house was built in 1985, I think. So, you know, it's pretty dated, but I have to get rid of this tile that they put up on the side of the wall. So like a baseboard, you know, they went all the way around the room with this tile, and then they put a grout line on top of it. And see how dirty it is? It's just disgusting and gross. So I have started to pull the tile away from the drywall on the side here. And so what I'm doing is just, what I've been doing is, the first thing I need to do is kind of score the top of the tile where that grout line is, because you want to make sure that you're not pulling, you don't want to damage the drywall more than you really have to. So what I've been doing is I'm just taking a razor knife, a carpet knife, and I'm scoring it along there. I'm just going right along where that grout line is. Okay, so then after I do that, then I'm taking a screwdriver or something to pry with, and I'm kind of trying to pry it away from there. And my new baseboard is going to go above this, so it's going to cover up this damage. So I just have to kind of pry it away without damaging the drywall too much. These first two couple tiles were right on the edge, and it looked like they had, you know, somebody sometime in the past had kind of glued it back on. Maybe it had come loose or something. So these were pretty easy to pull off. They kind of popped off pretty well, pretty good. There was a little bit of a gap that I was able to get in there with my screwdriver. So these other ones are going to be a little more difficult. And I don't know if you can see, but it does go, you know, all the way along the underside of this cabinet. And then on the other side here. So I have to go all the way around the room and take this off. So that's what I'm working on. I'm going to work on that for a little bit longer here. See if I can make some progress, and then I'll show you what we've got. So see, I'm able to just tap it a few times on the top with the hammer, and then I'm able to get behind it. And so then once I'm able to get behind it a little bit with the tool, then I can just gently and carefully pull it away. And again, I am damaging the drywall, but that's okay, because we're gonna cover all that up. It won't matter. So then we've got a little bit of grout left there, so just gonna pull that away from the wall. And then what I've been doing is just taking my screwdriver, since there's grout kind of stuck on the tile here. I've just been kind of gently tapping with my screwdriver to scrape that off. And of course, you want to be careful not to jab right through that drywall. But this will make a smooth surface for our vinyl plank to slide up under, right up against the wall, so that our baseboard won't go under it and we won't see our seam. Sorry, I'm trying to hold the camera while I do this. I know it's not the best setup. Okay, so there I pretty much got it. The tiles are smoothed off. Okay, it's a little, that just cut my finger, I think. It's a little rough right there. So I am gonna have to chip away a little at some of this in order to make it flat enough to put a baseboard there. Be careful not to jab right through that drywall. Let me chip away at that a little bit, make it nice and smooth. We're gonna have the same thing over here. All of these grout lines have a little bit of extra grout right there that needs to be chipped off, so this is flat. I do have a angle grinder, so I might use that to kind of come in here and grind that a little bit flat wherever I have a seam there. That way it should smooth it out so that the plank will lay flat and I won't have any lumps or bumps. I don't know, it may be overkill. We may not even have to worry about it because it is just a little bump. But, well, look at that. See, I want to be able to get all the way up against the wall. And that is kind of in my way. So I'm going to have to flatten that down a little bit. So we will go all the way against the wall with our plank. So this is my angle grinder, and I'm going to use this to see if I can get, I kind of swept, cleaned up here a little bit, but you can see we've still got a little bit of, that's pretty good right there, but we've got right here, right where you've got your grout lines, there's a little extra, and I need to smooth that down. So I've got my angle grinder here, and I've got the grinder wheel on. So I'm just gonna see if I can grind that down just a tad so it's smooth. And so my pieces of plank will go up against there on a flat surface all the way up against the wall. So actually, you know what, now that I think about it, I think you are supposed to leave 1/4 of an inch in between the wall and that anyway, but I want to have a smooth surface so I don't have to get over here with every single time with a tape measure to see what I've got there. Okay, so I tried the angle grinder, and I'm gonna say that's not a good idea because I'm really close to the wall, and I'm gonna damage the tile obviously with the angle grinder. It's gonna nick the tile a little bit, which is fine since we're covering up the tile, but I found that I've also got a grout saw. This is called a grout saw. I just got this at Home Depot. It's just a little handheld tool by QEP. Anyway, I'd use this to kind of, you know, saw away at that a little bit. I just kind of you know, went back and forth a bit over that until I got it a little smoother. And it's much smoother now, so I think I'm better off just using this rather than the angle grinder. Angle grinder makes a lot of noise, a lot of dust, and this I think is going to be the better option, just to smooth that out a little bit. And that way too, I'm not hitting the drywall with the power tool as well. So I'm gonna try that. Seems to be working better. I've got that pretty smooth right there. So now I'm gonna move over, do it here, and then over here as well. So one thing I wanted to say, for your planks, you will want to take them out of the box, and you do have to acclimate them to the environment a little bit. And so that's what I've done here, is I've taken all of them out and put them in some stacks here in another room. One thing the instructions said is that you should make sure that you only have 5 planks in a group. So this is each of these stacks have 5 in them. So these 2 stacks, that was 1 box. There's 10 planks in each box of this particular one that I bought. And then so this is another box, 3 boxes, 4 boxes, 5 boxes. So I have 5 boxes worth here. And so I've been letting them sit, and I'm gonna go ahead and just take a couple of them and see how it looks on the floor. One thing they want you to do is to make sure that you pull planks from different boxes, because your patterns might be a little bit different, and you want to have a good mix of whatever's in each box. So that's why I've put another reason I've put them out on the floor in another room here, so that I can make sure I pull from each stack, well, each group of stacks, because here we've got, like I said, that those first two stacks right there from the same box. These are from the same box. 1 box, 1 box, and 1 box. But either way, I want to pull from that pile, this pile, this pile, this pile, and then this pile. So that's what I'm going to do, is rather than grabbing everything in 1 box, using an entire box, going to the next one, I'm going to use from all 5 boxes. Okay, so I have 2 planks, my first 2 planks that I want to use, and they're from 2 different boxes. And one thing I wanted to say is that these are like tongue and groove, so they fit into each other. They snap into each other. So they do have like this lip right here, and then they've got a lip right here, and then this one, basically, you know, they click together. And I'll show you, it probably will make more sense if I show you when I, like this. Okay, so you can see how this one has, this end of it has a lip, okay? And then this one does not. See? It's like a male and female type setup. Okay, so I don't know if you can see. Okay, there we go. So maybe you can see that now. So see how this one has like the male end, or this one has this piece that kind of sticks out. Okay, that lip. And then this side does not, right? Because one that looks like this is going to slip in underneath here. So what they want you to do is start against the wall with this. This edge should be pushed up against the wall. So since I have this area underneath the tile or underneath the cabinet, I'm gonna use, that's where I'm gonna put my first row right there. So let's see if we can slide it in there and see how it looks. So I'm able to get it all the way up against the wall there because I sawed away a little bit of that grout. So it fits up nicely there. Okay, so remember we have that tile under there, but we're gonna cover that up. But for now, we're just gonna push it up against there. It looks pretty good. So now I'm gonna go ahead and see what we need to do for the second plank. It does look like this one is gonna have to be cut because it's gonna be too long. So it does need to be cut down to size in order to fit there. So I'm gonna get my tape measure and we're gonna measure it so we can put it up against, click it in with this one. So see how it's got a groove right here, and this one will fit on top of this and they'll click together. So I just need to go and get my tape measure so we can see how long this one needs to be to fit into that space. Oh, and then that's the other thing too. I have to take these tiles off as well. So I'll go ahead and work on that. That needs to be done. There's only 3, but I need to get those 3 tiles off before we can fit this second plank in there. So what I've noticed here is whenever you are installing tile, you are supposed to undercut these trim pieces around the door with a saw that slips. It basically slips down. It slips down under this piece of wood, and you saw enough so that this tile will slide underneath that piece of wood. Okay, so you're just trimming it a little bit, and it looks like they did that, but they filled this in with grout, which I'm not sure why they did that, because that just, it looks terrible. So yeah, so what we're gonna have to do is when we get this tile off, we're gonna break that. We're gonna break this grout out of here and off the drywall down to here, and then I'm gonna have to get this grout out of there because we want to be able to slip our vinyl plank underneath this in that space that they filled in with the grout. So we'll have to chip that out. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to chip it out with the piece of wood in place, the trim in place, or if I'm going to have to take the piece of trim off in order to do it. I'm not sure. So yeah, let me work on getting this tile, and that tile out of there, and then we'll try and figure this out. And then the other thing I noticed was we have, you know, 3 tiles, 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles that go across the threshold of the door to go into the hallway. And I was just thinking that in order to have less seams in a high traffic area, we're probably going to want our plank to go this way, this direction, instead of butting this up against the cabinet there. So I think that's what we're going to want to do. Obviously you can't really tell, but you know, it'll look something like that. There's probably a transition piece that I can, that, you know, goes in between the carpet and the tile here. And I know that you trim this lip right here will get, you know, you'll cut that off. You'll trim it off so that you don't see that hanging over. So that's going to be something I'll probably do with my saw. But I'm thinking that the best way to do this is probably just so you don't have a bunch of seams in a high traffic area. I'm thinking that the best way to do this is to cut it, to go this direction as opposed to going the other direction up against the tile or up against the cabinet. So we're gonna see, first and foremost, I gotta get these tiles off. So let's work on that. So as I'm going across here with my painter's tool to kind of score this against the drywall, I get to this section right here and my knife just kind of goes right in there. So I've got a really soft section right here on the drywall. You know, I don't know what's going on here, why it's like that, but there's not any water here or anything. So it's just, this is some kind of repair that somebody made probably. And it's just, as I'm putting a little bit of pressure, yeah. So we'll see once we get this tile off what's going on behind there, but I'm a little bit wondering, this is gonna go, it's soft right here, so I might have to do a little bit of a repair here. Obviously this section down, we're gonna have a baseboard there, but this part, it may not cover all of this depending upon what width of baseboard we get. So we might have to do a little bit of drywall repair there.